welcome to BFI. How you doing?
I'm good.
Good. Talk to us about your documentary. It was called That's Not Ours. Do you always do documentaries?
I fell into documentary, I'd say. I felt that certain issues weren't being addressed by anybody, so I was like, guess I'll do it then. A lot of people talk about it as being a knife crime documentary. It's not a knife crime documentary, it's more about representation or misrepresentation.
Yeah, I got that, yeah.
And it is Ethan, who you see in it. If you look closely at me, once I say it, you're going to say, he's my little brother.
The man in the documentary was your little brother?
So that happened to him. And
that's why it was close to your heart?
Yeah, very close to my heart. The children you see are my children.
Really? Okay.
And, I mean, I was planning to do you remember the Channel 5 documentary Gangland?
I do.
Yeah, I saw that.
Right.
I saw okay. I know what they're on, so obviously they're not going to address the issue. I'm going to address the issue. And I was trying to decide on the angle, and then this happened. Sorry, I'm pointing because the program's down there and I can see it.
It's cool. You can't see that, but yeah, we know it.
Yeah, so this happened, and then I was like, well, he's been stabbed, and hours after getting out of the danger zone, I'd say, he was told it was his fault. So I thought, so this stereotype is that strong that even when he's just come out of danger, and he's still a kid, he's 17, you're telling him you are the caregivers, that is his fault. I'm going to do it. So I wouldn't say the documentary's about him, whereas he's the vessel to tell a certain story.
What struck me, I think, when the nurse said to him, don't carry any more knives, something about not carrying any more knives because that's the reason why you got in the situation in the first place of him being stabbed. He said that cut me more than the actual stabbing itself. That really hurt him. And you can see the pain in his face. How did that make you feel?
I remember him saying it at the time, when it actually happened. Because, he got stabbed 7 times. I don't think it says it in the film. His lung got punctured. And when I got to the hospital, it was about 1 a.m. And I remember it was April 1st. And I remember because as I was letting people know the news, a few people thought it was an April Fool's joke. And he just kept talking about the fact that no one would stop to help him. People that had seen it and no one would stop to help him. He never spoke at all about actually being stabbed. He just kept saying no one would stop to help me. So he was then exhausted because they had to cut a hole in his side to fit the tube in. So he's more pain. And then it's like the next day he's just kind of, and then, it's your fault, right? And I wasn't there when that was said, but when I came, I'm like, holding up, where is she? Who said that? But so my mum didn't want me to say anything. But yeah, so it's funny that the things around it, I think it shows the power of words and how you need to consider what.
Most definitely.
And I think now, the information age, you don't have an excuse to be that ignorant, to say that it's your fault. Like he says, it's like saying it to a woman who has been sexually assaulted is your fault because you wore that skirt. Of course it's not your fault, it's victim blaming, isn't it?
Have you tried to get this documentary out there? Because it would be so good to get this on the TV so that many people can see this, because people do need to see this, I know somebody, a young kid who got stabbed, and again, he's had nothing to do with any, gangs or anything like that, but these things just happen. It's just that representation, isn't it? Have you tried getting your documentary out there?
At the moment, it's locked away because of the film. As long as, I've got another festival in January. I think I might withdraw after that and just release it. But in terms of I don't think the TV stations want, because I've spoken to the organisations at the top. I think it's a bit too real, to be honest. I think it's a bit...
It's not what they want to hear, is that what you mean?
Yeah, I don't think...
Why do you think that is?
Well, there's a certain narrative that's being driven. And it is... I don't even think that's an opinion, really. There's a certain narrative that is the popular narrative right now. And as an independent filmmaker, as far as I'm aware, that's the first film to cover that angle. So if they wanted content like that, why hasn't it been already made? I don't feel I should be in a position to be the first person to make it, because I'm small fry right now. So you powerhouses, you should have made it right now. I've had conversations with these people. They've seen the film, and it's like doesn't quite fit. Those are the kind of conversations that I've had. So.
Yeah, it's a sad situation, but the things are more documentaries like this need to be made. I think that obviously because it's from your personal point of view, that's why it touched you as to the reason why you made it. But perhaps not many people are seeing it that way because they haven't experienced it firsthand, or perhaps if people have experienced it, they were involved in knives in the first place. But there's a lot of kids out there that don't. So I just wanted to say thank you for making this documentary. It was an absolute pleasure watching it.
Thank you for showing it.